Joining us is Congressman Dr. John Fleming. Hey, Dr. John, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, Robert. Erin, I'm doing fantastic.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Thank you. Same to you.
So what is this we hear?
Wait, hold on a second.
I just gotta ask him.
I know, because you're antsy.
I know I'm antsy.
And he was in national news. There's a way to phrase the question we want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dr. John, Erin and I have this little sort of game we play, and you've heard of it. What's that, 5 degrees of separation? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Well, Erin and I have this thing where it's 1 degree of separation. And because of you, Erin and I are now 1 degree of separation from Donald Trump. Aren't we?
Oh. Well.
Well, did you go there and meet with him?
No. I went to Trump Tower, and I did meet with the transition team, but I did not meet with Donald Trump. I have met Donald Trump before, so you could claim 1 degree of separation, but it not exactly on the basis of what you I guess, thought.
In other words, the way I phrased the question, I was, what's the word I'm looking for? Wrong. Okay, so you're there meeting with the transition team. What was all that about? Who called? I assume they called you and said, come to New York and visit.
Yeah, you don't call and make an appointment. It doesn't work that way.
Well, what did they want to know? What was the convo about?
Well, they wanted to talk with me about my interest and their interest in me, possibly, in being on the Trump or in the Trump administration in some role. And so we talked about it. We talked about my background as a congressman, as a physician, as a business owner. And so we talked about that. There's a lot of appointment positions that do need to be filled. We are hearing, of course, about the cabinet positions, and I believe there are 12 of those, and they've just about finished appointing those. But the next level and below, there's about 400 positions, so they've got a lot of work to do.
Would it be fair to say that your experience as a physician is the experience in which they are most interested?
Not necessarily, no. I wouldn't say that.
Would you be interested in an undersecretary job, say in Health and Human Services or another department, or is it something you'd have to consider?
Yeah, I would have to know what it is. I'd have to, but that, I guess that's the good news is there are probably a lot of places that I'm qualified for because of my background. But on the other hand, when I ran for Senate, I ran with the idea that I was not going to decide what I was going to do if I didn't win. My focus was singular on winning the election, and it didn't turn out that way. And so I said, look, my family and I, we're going to sit down and we're going to think about, life after elected position only after the election is over. We had made no plans before then. I may, who knows, I may return to my practice. I may...
Were you surprised when they called you?
No, I was not surprised because there had been preliminary discussions by phone. But they gave me, they basically called me, I think, on a Thursday or Friday to arrive on Monday. So it was a fairly short notice. And really, this is sort of the stepwise way it occurs, is they do a preliminary interview, and then if things look good and things fit, then you're probably invited back again.
When one interviews with a president-elect's transition team, is there a specific position about which one speaks, or are there a number of positions on the table?
There can be more than one, but usually it's just one. But just because you get an interview with the president-elect does not mean you're going to get an offer. There have been a number of people who have been interviewed at one level or another by the president-elect, and it never went any further than that. So you can't assume, if you hear I've shown up again and I did meet with President-elect Trump, It does not mean that I was offered a position.
You said, a lot of them are being invited for a second visit. Have you been extended that second invite yet?
No, I haven't.
Have you been offered anything at this point official?
No, I've not been offered anything.
What would be most intriguing to Congressman Fleming? What job would be most intriguing for you?
Or better yet, Dr. Fleming.
Yes.
Well, there are a number of departments that could be very interesting, anything from HHS to Department of Defense. As you know, I served in the military. I served on House Armed Services Committee. Also, Department of Interior. I've been, natural resources for 8 years. I was subcommittee chairman. I tackled a lot of subjects there. Let's see, I'm a military veteran, so that the Veterans Affairs Department could be very interesting. A lot of problems there. They need a lot of help, a lot of work. One of the things the transition team told me, though, was that they liked my business background. I have still over 500 employees, and that's executive experience. They like executive experience. The guy, Tillerson, who Donald Trump has decided to be his Secretary of State, he has no governmental experience, but he has plenty of business experience. So I think, as opposed to most administrations that look at, how many times have you been elected, how long have you served in government, they're looking for people with practical day-to-day experience, people who've not spent all of their life in Washington or in an elected office. Case.
Okay.
The only case where that would happen that I'm aware of would be a senatorial position.
Okay.
So a U.S. senatorial position. So, but my advice to him is to stick to your principles, and I know he will. He's a very, very principled person, a very good man, a wonderful, beautiful family, and he knows that I'm going to support him in every way. If there's anything I can do to help him along the way. Of course, I think he's going to do fine on his own. But just, stick to your principles. Stick to the Constitution. Don't be in any way distracted by all the ornaments in Washington and otherwise. Just do a good job and you'll be fine.
Congressman John Fleming, thank you so much for joining us, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yes, thank you. Always a pleasure, guys.
Thank you, Dr. John. Great to hear from you, as always. News Radio 710 KEEL, 19 past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin Fletcher in sports up next.